A few months ago, Larry Correia posted a rant on X, just going off on AI. And of course, in his typical manner, he just ranted and swore about it and then claimed it was just vapid and soulless and it was never going to do anything. And it turns out he was wrong. I made a video on AI yesterday just based on what we've been seeing from Claude 3.7 and Vox Day actually doing some work on this where he's had it work on other people's writing styles, and it captured it pretty perfectly. Inspired by this, I opted to try it myself this morning, and this is pretty interesting. And moreover, not only can it copy fiction, it can copy Larry's tweet styles of his rants almost verbatim. We're going to get into this in just a moment. This is pretty entertaining. If you're a fan of action-packed books and fun, my friends, I'm glad you're here. I'm writing my books myself, of course, and I have a newsletter, and I'd love for you to sign up. You get 3 books just for signing up, and we have a ton coming out this year. I am a very prolific writer. I work really hard every single day, and AI is a very interesting topic. I haven't used AI for any of my books that you're going to get here, but it is something that I would love to get you on my newsletter, just in case I lose you. There's a lot going on. YouTube, you never know with the algorithms, how it works. I can go off and rant on that for hours, but I'd like to get you some books, and I'd like to get you trying out some things right here. If you want to support the channel, I've also got ways in the description below to support us. You can, of course, grab the books on Amazon and the like, and actually, pay for some books, which I'd appreciate. But getting on this newsletter is a big, big step, and it helps me tremendously. So please do this today. Get your free three books, and stay in touch with me. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so yes, a few months back, Larry wrote this rant on X about AI, and it's very, very long. To summarize it, he says, I say a lot of newbie authors thinking that AI is going to be some super tool, but the part you guys are admitting is writing is the fun part. Editing is the hard part. So you're giving the fun part to the machine and then going through and doing the painstaking cleanup to humanize it, at least if you want it to not suck ass. Well, let's say that I, as a very experienced author who's established I'm pretty good at this shit, tells an AI to give me a story about X, Y, and Z. It spits it out for me in seconds. Yay. Except for then I need to take the AI manuscript and make it not read like it was written by a soulless autocorrect with a severe personality disorder. Well, Boomer Larry here unfortunately doesn't know how to use AI prompts very well. And if you do know how to use AI prompts very well and get pretty good at it, you can actually make it spit out Larry Correia style content pretty quickly. In fact, his style was actually very easy to replicate, it turns out, when I was messing with it. And I could come out with stuff that if I didn't tell you it was AI and I just told you it was a Larry Correia short story, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference for the most part. Now, that's pretty interesting on that level. We talked about this. It's not just him either. It's, we tried it with John Scalzi, Roger Zelazny, Terry Pratchett. I actually worked on it because my passion really is Star Trek, guys. And so I loved this series New Frontier by Peter David. And in New Frontier was a new Star Trek series that Peter David got to write his own characters. A lot of them were characters from the show that appeared in an episode or two. But the captain was, of course, this badass fighter guy who's a brand new character and the like. And it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And in 2015, they moved it to ebook only, meaning it wasn't selling as well as it used to. Long series do that. And then they actually canceled it after 3 ebooks. And they canceled it and left it on a cliffhanger. So what I did is I went into AI and I said, hey, are you familiar with New Frontier? It told me about New Frontier and the characters. I said, are you familiar with Peter David's writing style? And I said, make sure to make it quippy and comic book style, punchy dialogue. And then it understood who that was. At that point, I fed it the continuity information at the end of the series because I'm very intimately familiar with the series, and it actually came up with a continuation scene right here where it nailed Peter David's style. Admiral Elizabeth Paula Shelby stared at the Vulcan-Romulan hybrid standing in the doorway and realized that in her years of Starfleet service dealing with the Borg hostile alien races and Byzantine politics of admiralty, she had never quite experienced a moment as awkward as this one. I'm sorry, she said with deceptive calm. I believe I misheard you. Now, this is exactly how Peter David would have written a scene like this. Really crazy that it could do this. And then using terms like Mac, the character is referring to Mackenzie Calhoun, who is the main character in this, as Mac. That's something it kind of knew from the series. I didn't prompt it to do that. It knows what race he is, that he's Xenexian. This is pretty interesting right here, and it follows up on this scene very, very well, introduces the characters, and actually did make the characters feel like the characters. Now, it came up with a single continuity error that I recognized just because I'm very familiar with the work in the first iteration. And I just said, hey, you came up with this continuity error. Can you please replace this section? And then it did. And it did it really well. And now I'm like, wow, I can make my own Star Trek New Frontier novels for myself to read. But the thing is, here's the deal. You do need imagination. You do need a plot, because if you just have it write a New Frontier novel, it's not going to be very good. Larry is right on that level, that it's going to be lazy. It's not going to work very well. But if you have an idea and you have that, like, okay, so I know exactly what I want the crew of the Excalibur to do next and where they're going to go in this universe, and here's the plot I want it to feed in, you can actually have it do this to extreme capability. So Larry, this was just a couple of months ago, and he was pretty mad on this on this level, saying AI has no enthusiasm, etc. This is completely wrong on every single level. And of course, as a fan, this is one of the series I'm the biggest fans of. As a fan of this, I was thrilled with what output. I mean, it was pretty incredible. And this is really interesting on that level just because of that. So he says it can produce a ton of vapid, soulless shit, but so can modern Disney. In fact, a creator doesn't give a shit about his art. Not only does the audience feel it, but the audience gets pissed off. Well, that's something maybe that it can be done here. But again, you can train it not to feel like it's not given a shit or soulless. You can train it on the writing style exactly. And this is the funniest part about this. So based on Larry's rant here, this was trained to respond to Larry Correia. And this is where it gets really, really funny. Larry Correia declared that AI can only produce vapid, soulless shit in what we can sadly no longer describe as imitable style, as AI responded in the style of Larry Correia. And so here's it writing a rant like Larry Correia. AI ain't the enemy. It's just another damn tool. And so this is telling it to write that AI is not the enemy. It's just another tool in Larry Correia's style of ranting based on the rant he just did. And it reads just like it. All right, listen up. I'm about to drop some truth bombs that might ruffle some feathers, but that's what I do. I make a living telling it like it is, both in fiction and real life. First, this whole AI is the death of creativity hysteria is about as overblown as a politician's promises. Let me be crystal clear. AI is just another tool in the arsenal, nothing more, nothing less. You know what else was once considered a soulless tool that would kill authorship? Effing typewriters, then the word processors, then spell check. Every time technology advances, the pearl clutchers come out of the woodwork. Here's what the original rant gets wrong. Assuming AI is only for lazy bastards who want to skip the fun part of writing, that's like saying the power tools are only for lazy carpenters. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of how professionals integrate tools into their workflow. The real deal with AI. He continues on here. The bottom line, the fear-mongering about AI is just that, fear. It's not killing writing. It's just evolving it. It's truly talented, and ones with actual shit will say that use AI to enhance their voice, not replace it. So if you're a writer paralyzed by the rise of AI, I've got some advice. Stop whining and start adapting. Figure out how these tools can serve your vision, your voice, your message, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. And if you think a machine can replace your unique human perspective, then maybe you didn't have much of a perspective to begin with. Oh, gosh. So good right here. This is exactly a line he would have said. And it's really funny because it's ironic because the machine literally did replace his perspective right there. And that's exactly what it did. So interesting stuff. It can not only copy the fiction very, very well, as I've demonstrated right here, with this New Frontiers. Maybe I'm going to just put up some fan fiction of this stuff because I love it so much. Who knows? But it can also deal with Larry's Twitter rants and actually make them exactly the same. Maybe I should make a Larry, Lairry, Correia Twitter account just to write things like he does pretty often. That would be pretty funny right there. But I've got a lot to do on my plate, guys. I'm just having fun on the internet, and that is an interesting thing. So I don't know how this is all going to shake out. There's, of course, ethical stuff we could all talk about and debate on this level. But as of right now, this AI tool is way leaps and bounds better than I thought it was ever going to be. And it's showing it right now, and it's getting really, really big, really, really fast. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, sign up for my newsletter in the description below. I want to stay in touch with you. I've got great books, great comics coming out that I've been working really, really hard on in recent months, and I hope you'll be here. Everything we do, I work, get better every single time. Science fiction, fantasy, comic books, we're here for you. and I appreciate you reading. And if you want to support some of my books, they're in the description below. You can go to Amazon or you can go to my web store. Lots of ways to read, and I appreciate you guys for being here. We'll be back.